Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Wilde on Season 6. It's your girl, Taylor Wilde, with my co-host, my sister from Etobicoke, the Veronica to my Betty of professional wrestling, Seleziya Sparx. What's up, bitch?
What's up, bitch?
Today's guest is also a Canadian sister.
Oh, yeah?
She is a pageant queen.
I heard she kicks ass in between.
Oh, bars, girl. Excellent segue. Wrapping into today's Seleazy tea.
Seleazy tea.
You got some tea?
I got some tea.
These people are all involved in wrestling.
In the program.
You got to change the names to protect those who are innocent until proven guilty.
Unfortunately, we can't expose them, unfortunately.
What we got?
Ooh, okay. So it's about a friend of mine named Carlita.
Carlita.
Yes.
She's so spicy.
She's so spicy, bitch.
What does Carlita know? What does she do?
Carlita,
Who did she do?
She didn't do nobody. Carlita is innocent out of this,
Okay.
I would say.
She's a good woman.
Good woman. Very good woman, I would
Okay,
say.
honest,
all
good
right.
woman.
Honest, good woman. Very nice. Very hot. Very sexy.
Spicy.
Very spicy.
All the things we like.
Did we like Carlita?
Okay.
Carlita's just chilling, vibing, living her life, existing.
Okay.
Posting whatever she wants on wherever she wants. She's a single girl, blah, blah, blah.
Free to do and say what she wants and who she
How
wants.
she wants.
Yes.
Yes. In comes along Mr. Bear GRILZ.
Bear GRILZ.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a wild person.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Bear GRILZ. Married,
As they are.
as they always are.
Okay.
Slides in the DMs,
As they do.
but never crosses a line.
Okay.
Keeps it very, like, platonic.
Okay, so Bear GRILZ slides into Carlita's DMs.
Yes.
But Bear GRILZ is married.
Bear GRILZ is married.
Okay.
But he keeps it very platonic.
Okay, so just consistent dialogue?
Just like whenever Carlita is posting something on her story, first to reply to the story.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways, so what happened was Bear GRILZ just became persistent. He was coming to town, wanted to hang out with Carlita.
Okay.
I think he was trying to work out with her.
Okay, so we're keeping, it seems
Exactly.
PG-13.
Exactly.
Let's just
Friendly,
be friends.
I don't know what boundaries are here. Anyways.
Okay. Okay.
Carlita feels some type of way about it.
Okay.
So she's like, I don't think so.
Okay.
But if you want to use the gym, here's a key that's available. You can take this, go use the gym as you please.
Okay, we're all in the program. That's why Carlita
Yeah.
is minding her P's and Q's, because even though she know Bear GRILZ is married,
Yes.
he's consistently
Yes.
in
this
her
is
DMs.
this is somebody that would be like a work associate. So you'd have to run into them. So you keep everything very platonic, very friendly.
Yeah, you're not like slamming on the brakes, being like, no, man, I know
Yeah.
you're married. Like, that's not what we're doing. We're playing ball. We're being
Right.
cordial because he's just being friendly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Carlita gave him the key. Go do your thing. Well, she wanted nothing to do with it.
Sure.
None of that business.
Yeah.
Anyways, time went on and he just was very still persistent on her stories, responding to everything.
Okay.
Just like, it's like, okay, like,
Boyfriend, I've got a crush on you vibes. More than friends.
yeah, like annoying, right?
Okay.
So Carlita had a friend named Tits McGee, right?
Okay. Oh, we've heard of her.
Yeah.
She's been here before.
She's a classic.
Okay.
Class act. We like her. She actually has another friend who's friends with Bear GRILZ.
Okay.
So Tits McGee and Bear GRILZ's friend, we'll call him Silverback. Silverback. Okay. So they were riding up to a show together.
Okay.
Silverback and Tits McGee are gossiping, you know, doing the good old car gossip sesh, you know.
As they do.
Silverback
Yeah.
tells Tits McGee
Yeah.
that Carlita
Okay.
is in Bear GRILZ's DMs.
Okay. So the script has been.
Yes.
So Tits McGee's just getting firsthand information.
Yes.
From Silverback, who
Who's
says.
friends with Bear
Bear
GRILZ.
GRILZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently Carlita's the ones in the DMs. So Carlita, being that spicy bitch that she is, gets very pissed off, right? Still playing ball, still can't do nothing because this program, you got to play the games. She just removed the reply section from her story. So like nobody can reply to her stories
Okay.
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
So
that
she just
solve it?
she-
Did
yeah,
it solve it
yeah,
for
actually,
Carlita?
It did. From what I've heard.
So the moral of the story is
Stay the out of the DMs.
Stay out of the DMs. And if you can't control your colleagues, just remove the comment section in your Instagram.
Also,
yes,
be careful what your boys are telling you, because sometimes they're talking shit.
True.
And Carlita keeps receipts.
The moral of the story is when you slide into a girl's DMs, know that the girls keep all the receipts. And although you're right now innocent until proven guilty, we know you're guilty, motherfucker.
You guilty bitch. You guilty bitch.
Speaking of guilt, I've got no guilt bringing in today's guest. She is an NXT superstar. Her dad is none other than Santino Morella. We love Santino. He's a Canadian homie, Impact homie. Meet him, greet him at Battle Arts.
Yeah.
She did something pretty amazing. She got injured while under contract with NXT. And instead of staying home and being depressed and feeling the weight of what's going to happen to my job, homegirl decided to sign up for her very first pageant. And I'm not going to give away what happened, how she did in the pageant. You got to listen. You got to listen to today's episode. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, today's guest, my girl, Arianna Grace. I was on the road full time with your dad, and he was the one that told me about kind of all the ins and outs of your injury, and you pivoted. You did something that I don't know any other female professional wrestler has done. So for our listeners who don't know about your journey, do you want to talk a little bit about your injury and then how you got to that next step?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely remember that day very clearly. We were in training, and it was funny. It was just like another practice matches at the PC, and it was off of a lockup. It was just a lockup.
No.
Yeah, like I went forward, the girl turned, and it was just like two different momentums, and it snapped.
Your knee.
Yeah, the knee. Like I felt a big pop, but it didn't hurt. So then I tried to get up. And I was like, damn, like, I can't finish this match. And I was so embarrassed because at the time I didn't think it would be as serious as it was. And I was like, everyone's going to think I'm a chicken. I should have finished the match. It's just ironic looking back now. I'm like, at least let it be like a little bit sprained. Like, at least, because so no one thinks I'm a wuss. And then I got the call, and it was like, torn ACL, torn meniscus, sprained MCL, and oh my god.
Well, you went big. Good for you, girl. We don't like a half-asser, so this is,
Yeah, we did the thing. We really did it. So, after that, what can you do? Like, you really only have one option. It's literally surgery, rehab, and move on. So, I had to do what I had to do, but...
How long had you been at the PC for at that time?
6 months.
Okay, so it's not like you were 6 weeks in. Like, people need to realize that being in developmental, being at the PC for 6 months is easily double that off of your career. That's double off of that on your bump card. Like, you were there Monday to Friday. You were bumping more than you've ever bumped in your life. You're living the dream, but oh my goodness, your body is screaming at you. So 6 months, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was learning so much. I just started getting momentum, so I had done some level ups, and I'd had at that point maybe 4 or 5 episodes on NXT, so it looked like things were going to a more, weekly NXT kind of feature. And, right when things started building, that's when it happened. I mean, I was definitely disappointed, but I try to be a firm believer that, everything happens for a reason. So I just kept telling myself that. And, the first few months, everyone was saying, people who've gone through injuries before, people I've been talking to, because unfortunately, there's been a lot of ACLs in that building.
Since back in my day, girl, it's one of those things. It's an ACL every couple months, I'd say.
Honestly, And then we have some other athletes too, like from different sports who also had ACLs. I guess it's just like, that's just the risk, no matter your sport. Yeah, you watch your knees.
It's the wear and tear too. Like it's like we are these high level athletes, and you can do all you can to look after your body. You know, you do the physio, you got the nutrition, you know, you do the training, you do the mobility, but it is the volume of impact day in, day out. And that's what people don't know. They're like, oh, we're athletes, you know, they're hard on their body. And you're like, no, this is what we have to do. And it's like you said, you might as well have bought a lottery ticket because you were just the lucky contender.
No kidding. But yeah, like the first couple months I felt fine. I felt pretty positive.
Okay.
And then I think it was at that point in the recovery where I wasn't, like, I didn't feel like I could walk around, I could do some light exercise, but at that point it was still going to be a few more months. And then I had like a little complication with my knee where I found out I was going to need a second minor surgery, but it was just like, it felt like a lot to feel like, okay, I'm going to have to go under again. And at that point, I definitely kind of felt like, okay, my mental health, I need something for me. I need something to focus on. Like, I can't just sit and focus on getting better every day when now it's going to take even longer. And, you know, so my boyfriend too, he works with me at NXT. He plays stacks in the Italian mafia. And, you know, it was kind of difficult at times. And, you know, I feel bad that, you know, I feel selfish saying it was hard for me to like see him doing what I wanted to be doing.
Sure.
It was tough seeing him like get up, go to work and be like, oh, I had such a long day in the ring. And I'm like, oh, it must be nice. Like, oh my gosh. You know, just seeing the person I loved and I lived with doing everything I wanted to do, it was so like, it really tore me because on one end, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
And on the other end, I'm wishing that I could be doing the same thing.
100%. Let's hold space for the fact that like, that is you being very grounded. That is you being very mature and emotionally aware, because that is the truth. Like, this is an industry where it's hard to date in the business. It's hard to date outside the business.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you are two very competitive beings and you both want the same thing. And although you're in two different, like, you know, women and men are divided. You're not competing for the same spot per se, right?
Right.
But if one surpasses the other, that's going to be the hardest part of your relationship you're ever going to have to overcome. And especially with injury, when there's so much mental health going on, like your mental strength is being pushed just as much as your physical. So well done for admitting that, because that's not easy. Was there a lot of conversations that had to be had? Like, did the resentment boil over one day and were you just like, ah! Or, you know?
I mean, I don't necessarily know that, like, because I really didn't want to make him feel bad or ruin any of his experience, because like my injury is not his fault. And I was kind of putting myself in his shoes and thinking, you know, like, if it had been him who'd been injured and I'm, you know, experiencing all these wonderful things, how would I feel about him if he was so salty and cranky about it? You know, I don't know that I wouldn't handle that very well. So I tried my best, but there were definitely conversations where I had to be honest and say, you know, I'm very happy for you, but, you know, I'm struggling. So maybe if you could, like,
good
you know,
for you.
Be a little more mindful of my perspective. And, you know, I can't complain. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And he was very supportive and so helpful throughout everything. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better partner. He helped take care of me and understood if I was moody or understood if I was emotional, even if I tried not to be. But then that's when I found the pageant, because I was like, I need something.
Yeah.
I need something for me. I need something to distract myself. And actually, Miss Universe Canada had always been a dream of mine.
Really?
Yeah. In high school, I was... No, this is kind of funny. They nominated me, like, most likely to be Miss Universe.
No way.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those, like, weird full circle things. Like, obviously I didn't win, but, like, I got pretty close, so I was most likely. Like,
let's recognize the fact that you were not a career pageant woman. You're a professional wrestler, and you got injured, and you were just like, you know what? let's give Miss Universe Canada a shot. And you were a contender, a worthy contender. That's massive. You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah, I was, and I had a really positive experience because, I mean, it's actually crazy. When I started the PC, I don't know what happened, if it was stress or, like you said, like all the bumping, because it's just like, it's a lot of grueling work.
Totally.
But I put on like at least maybe 20 pounds, like, and then, you know, after the injury, I kind of was like, you know what? It seems as though I've gained some pounds. Like, you know, let's use this pageant as motivation to get myself into great shape for when I come back. Also give me a distraction. So it benefited me in different ways.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
I actually ended up getting like a pageant coach who helped me a lot. And honestly, you wouldn't even believe. Actually, I just gave myself goosebumps. I don't know if you they're there. What I learned through this pageant coaching was so much more about myself than I'd ever expected, because you dive into questions like, who are you? Like, what is your mission in life? Like, what are you passionate about? Like, what do you care about? What drives you? What's your purpose? And I know I've thought I've had the answers to some of those things, but I actually sit down and spent hours like writing things out and figuring out who I am and what I love and what I stand for. And I felt super empowered by the end of it, just like through the whole experience, the ACL, the pageant training, completing the pageant, coming back. Like, it was just, I feel like I know who I am. And I know that always changes, but I feel more like confident in myself as a woman, as a person, than I ever have, which is really nice to feel.
Well, isn't that the universe for you? You know, I always say, well, like, when bad shit happens to me, as low as I am, my mantra is always, this is happening for me. It's not happening to me.
Oh, I like that.
And, you know, that's your injury. Like, you know, it's really hard to put that in a compartment, because you're like, well, I've fucking been training my ass off, and, you know, my body pooped out on me, and this is really great. I just got momentum. This is shit.
Exactly.
You come across as a very old, grounded soul. Like, you know who you are. You're very confident. And in a world like, you know, professional wrestling, but more specifically WWE, knowing who you are and knowing your worth from a young age is priceless. You've built yourself back up. Like, you probably made that return to the NXT show stronger, more self-assured, more comfortable in your body. And girl, those 15 pounds, that's your body screaming at you with inflammation. Like, you may have not even changed your eating. Like, that's the hormones, that's the cortisol. Like, that's...
Yeah, because I was so confused about what had happened. Like you said, my eating was the same. And I was working out like almost more than usual. I had no clue, and it was driving me nuts, because it's like, what more can I do? So, yeah, I've managed my cortisol. I've been taking ashwagandha, like...
Ashwagandha, let's hear it.
Yes, ashwagandha. I think it is like the magic ingredient, and like lots of vitamin C, and I don't know. It was just like, it felt like it was a vitamin hormone thing.
Health for a woman is all about hormones. And a lot of the things we experience at women, they throw birth control at us, right? And birth control makes the doctors' lives easier. It makes it easier for the healthcare system, because if you have really bad cramps, or you have really detrimental periods that, like, you know, have you in bed, or have hormonal acne or endometriosis, like, it mitigates those, it puts a Band-Aid on those things. And I've realized my body's been synthetically regulated my entire life, and I have no idea what my natural hormone balance is. And then I got off of birth control, and the same exact thing happened to me. I put on like 10, 15 pounds. I'd arguably been eating better, training harder. I was relaxed. I had to take some time off work, and that was it. It was hormones. I went and I got blood work done, and I went to a naturopath, and I was, you know, everything. And a big thing is tapering your cortisol, and that's what ashwagandha is really amazing for.
So do you take that now, like, to help regulate?
I do. So I'm like, I've been taking it consistently for 2 or 3 months. And then I introduced a bunch of other supplements. Magnesium was a big thing for me. Omega-3s for inflammation. Vitamin D, apparently, like you live in the Sunshine State, so you probably get a lot of vitamin D, but vitamin D really helps your supplements absorb. And then I was taking lion's mane because I have later in life diagnosed ADHD, and that helps with like mental sharpness and clarity.
Oh, I need some of that then because I have ADHD really bad.
Okay. ADHD sister, love this. So the lion's mane combination with ashwagandha worked really well for me. My naturopath, though, had never heard of it because lion's mane is like a stimulant or something very similar to your Adderall or your Vyvanse. And I hadn't tried any of those things. Like I had been like prescribed, but I was like, I just got off all my medications. Like I'm trying to do this naturally. Right. But like ashwagandha is a chill out and lion's mane is a stimulant. For me, that works.
Well, I was also like prescribed I think it was Vyvanse, and I also didn't want to take any of it. I'm totally an all natural person. So I just decided not to go to anybody and just let things rock and roll as they were.
Just raw dogging ADHD. I love it.
Yeah,
you and me both, girl.
So we have a nutritionist at the PC. She just joined maybe 4 or 5 months ago. But you know what? She's great. She sought out every person. Like she really hunted everybody down and was like, "We're meeting and we're gonna talk about your diets." And
trying to hide.
Yeah, you can't hide. But she literally is encouraged pretty much everyone in that building to like take ashwagandha and beetroot.
What does beetroot do? I'm not familiar with beetroot.
So I started taking it last week because everyone's saying, like, the nutritionist said take beetroots. Everyone's buying beetroot.
I hope she's not getting a cut.
I know, right? You never know, but
yeah.
Apparently it's supposed to help your blood hold more oxygen. So when you're like performing in the ring or like we're training, you get less tired because you have more of an oxygen supply.
Okay.
But I heard this secondhand through somebody I work with, so I don't know how reliable that information is.
That's fine. I'll go to Dr. TikTok when we're done and I'll figure it out. It's fine. So let's talk about ADHD and let's talk about ADHD in women. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I didn't get diagnosed until I think it must have been 18, 19.
Okay. So, you know what? That's not bad. Women get diagnosed way later when it comes to any neurodivergence, because I've learned like the average age a boy gets diagnosed is like 2 to 4 years old. And the average age of a woman is usually like 7 to 11 years old because women mask, right? We go introspectively and we go, what's wrong with us? Why do I act different? Why can't I learn like everybody else? And you figure it out. Whereas boys, they tend to act out more. Like it's like the obvious bouncing off the walls and the unable to pay attention. And was it your parents that decided to get you diagnosed or your school?
No, it was me. I've always been very much in charge of my own medical from a very young age. I guess maybe it's just part of like being in Canada. So my dad was always on the road kind of actually during those times, like from age 9 on, he was on the road. And my mom, my parents are divorced. My mom was a single mother, or like, you know, then she did get married when I was about 12, but they were both young, like trying to make a living. There's me, my 2 sisters. So if I was sick, like I really had to like walk myself to the doctor and figure it out. So I've always been very independent in that way. So when it came to the ADHD, I was just like, I think something's like wrong. I'm like, I can't pay attention to things very long. Like I'm very hyperactive.
Yeah.
A lot of things frustrate me very easily. Like I started thinking maybe it was like, honestly, anger management.
100%. I always thought I was angry. Like I thought I had like a temper.
Okay, that is me. I always think like I'm like things freak me out and I get so mad so fast, but like it's literally ADHD. It's
because you're already overloaded. And have you heard about rejection sensitivity?
No.
If you were to get chastised or you weren't able to do something like another student and you were like pointed out for it, your level of sensitivity for being criticized is amplified times 1,000. So that for me answered everything. It's like you don't understand what I'm already going through inside. So then to be rejected by you, it's like blammo.
Yep. No, that makes so much sense. Like just hearing you say that, I just like went to like several different memories throughout my life where I'm like, yeah, that maybe like I'm also very like I've always been very sensitive, but people have always said
Me
to
too.
me, oh, you're so sensitive, you're so
Same.
like, who cares, let it go. I am the most sensitive, like easily insulted, like
Totally.
person ever. And I thought it was because I was a Cancer, which maybe it could be some of that.
100% linked. Yep, you have all the feels.
Yeah, you put the Cancer together and the ADHD, and it's like, wow.
Just all the tears, all the tears.
All the tears, all the emotions. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I love that you shared that, because I do think that there's probably a higher link to neurodivergence with women who also overachieve and have careers that require like a lot of different mindsets, like a lot of different components. You know what I mean? In terms of like with wrestling, it's like, okay, well, you have to have the character, you have to have the physical aspect, you have to have the athletic aspect, you have to be able to play ball with the politics, you have to get along with your coworkers, but then you have to be careful with who you talk to. You know what I mean? It's just like there's 5,000 things happening at once, and an ADHD mind thrives in that environment, whether you know it or not.
I've always liked kind of like not chaos, but kind of, yeah.
It almost brings your anxiety down because your mind is occupied with a bunch of different things. I don't know what the answer is. I'm still figuring it out. But like the ADHD in me sees the ADHD in you. So
thank you for acknowledging my ADHD. I also acknowledge yours.
We're special. We're relevant.
We're thriving in our chaos. And that's what life is, really, I feel.
Totally.
Thriving chaos.
That's it. And you have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to laugh, and you are not by yourself. So that's like why I always like to touch on any mental health, because I feel like that's what changes it for me. Knowing I'm not alone. Like, especially as a woman, because you're like, I just got to raw dog this. Like, don't tell anybody. Don't let them know you're weak. Like, you've got that like animal mentality. So just to know that it's not just you, girl.
That's true. And you know what, since we're touching on it, yeah, I definitely feel like for myself, that is something I don't talk about too much. But even I remember being 7 years old, 8 years old, like being that young throughout my whole life, having like really, really struggling like with like body image and like negative self-talk. And like I remember being so young, like 6, 7 years old, and just I'd look in the mirror. This sounds horrible, but I'd look in the mirror and I'd sob, and I hated myself, and I thought I was like so ugly, and so like I just hated myself. And you know, that was something that we touched on when I was doing a lot of my pageant coaching, was like those memories, and how I don't feel that at that time I had someone who could acknowledge what I was feeling and talk to me about what I was feeling. And that was one of my biggest motivations, like now in life, is I want to be able to have these conversations, so that if there's a 7-year-old or 8-year-old girl who looks in the mirror and is like, I hate how I look, I want them to know, you know, like that's absolutely normal, but you should not feel like that. And here's why. Like, you are amazing, you are perfect, you are your own person. Like, there is no right, there is no wrong of who you should be. Just be who you are. And like, you know, that's something that's always been a struggle, to like literally self-love, self-acceptance. And I really did feel like through this pageant experience and through this injury, I was able to kind of appreciate myself and get rid of that negative self-talk, and realize it's not doing me any good, and it's not doing any good for the people that, you know, I want to help inspire. But yeah, like I've definitely dealt with the mental health issues like since childhood, and you know, it's not easy. Even still now, sometimes like negative thought patterns will creep back in, and I just have to, you know, work at being positive, recognizing them, taking them out of my head, talking to somebody about it, because, you know, in such a stressful work environment, when now your brain starts like attacking itself, it's like you need to make sure you have all systems operating.
Oh, completely. And I relate on such a strong level to everything you're saying. Like, I went through that teenage years into the wrestling years, because you're now in a business where, of course, you're being judged for a lot of mental things, and your athletic abilities, you're also very much being judged on a physical level. And you know, the passion that comes out of you when you're talking about helping other women who have been in that position, like that is your truth. Like that is your purpose. And I hope you continue talking on that, because you have so much to offer the world. And I think it's so cool that you had this experience where you got injured, and, you know, we all have these paths, we all have free will we can take, and you took this pageant path, and it was the thing that probably healed you the most, and, you know, kind of brought you into your most authentic self, and here you are thriving. So I really appreciate you talking on all those things that are like, you know, they're hard. There's hard subjects. There's things you like hold close to your heart and you don't want anyone to know you're going through them. But the only thing you can control at the end of the day is your own happiness. You can't control your environment. You can't control what's going to happen to you. And I think that's what you've unlocked with this. It's like, you're always going to get the negative. You're going to have this self-talk cycle because we live in a physical world, but like, you have figured it out. In order for me to be happy, these are the steps I need to take.
I feel like it's really easy to, you know, be embarrassed, like you said, about those things, or keep them in. And it's like, I've always kind of been an open book. Like, you know, the way, the things I feel and the way I am, I'm not really ashamed to share them. And I know there's a lot of stigma about talking about mental health, but like you said, I feel like talking about it, like, oh my gosh, I saw this quote, and it was literally like, well, I was looking for quotes. So I built this page. It's an online resource where it's just like quotes about confidence and like waking up. It's like positive mantras. It's called Confidence Unleashed. And it's like where I just was posting things that inspired me that I thought might also inspire other people. And I found a quote, and I think it was like, so I found several. So it was like with people like Beyonce, J-Lo, like Shakira, like these total pop divas, like saying that they struggle with confidence and that they don't think that they're like beautiful. And I was like, okay, hold up. If freaking Beyonce, J-Lo, and Shakira, like the holy trinity of like being divas, like if they struggle with their confidence, like, then yes, everyone does. It is so normal. It is just human nature. And like, it's important just to, for people to, I feel like, realize, like you said, that they're not alone. We all go through these things, and just some people I think are more sensitive to it like than others, and maybe that's where the ADHD kicks in, like, because then it's doomsday.
Well, for me, it was always just like, this is where I'm at in life now, is it was just so much easier for me to throw myself into work. And I just took away all the Band-Aids, all the things that I kept trying to mute, the negative self-talk cycle. So when you say that, know that I understand what you're saying to like the core of my being is, and that's where I think the ADHD and the temper and the anger and the rejection sensitivity would come in. Because for me, it was like, you have no idea how exhausting it is making this shut up. So if anything additional came into my life, like a regular life problem, I would be so explosive because I was already mentally tired. And like some Southern god told me once, you can't put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. And like,
oh my gosh.
That is my ADHD brain. Like, I'm always trying to cram more in, and eventually it's just going to spill over. And like, that's literally what I always think of. And I just, you know, I just took away all the Band-Aids. I took away the wine. I took away the pot. I took away being a workaholic. And, you know, I've always done the things I'm supposed to do. Therapy, eating well, exercising, being outside, grounding, reading the books. But, you know, and I've tried all the medications. And for me, it was literally the universe slapping me in the face, stopping me from like being able to work, and just sitting with myself. And that is like the most uncomfortable thing you can do. And that's kind of where I am now. Like, only I can control my happiness. That is the only thing in life you can control.
That is very true.
And, you know, when you're really stressed out with an ADHD brain, I think the first thing you do is try to do more. You want that dopamine. You want that external validation, because inside your brain is telling you you can't, you're different, you're not good enough. You're not good enough is like the number one. No one understands me. And it's because your brain works differently. No one does understand you. You're not for everybody, but that's a superpower. It's just really hard to be the black sheep all the time.
I like to be nice to people. I like to be kind to people. Even if they're not kind to me, I don't care, because like I want to spread joy, because I want to feel joy and I want to give joy. And I really feel if you give kindness and joy, you know, you'll hopefully get it back.
What you throw out there is what you get back. So you've got that cracked for sure.
But it's crazy because I really feel like sometimes certain people, maybe they're the non-ADHDers, I don't know, maybe not, but some people, when they're just like grumpy and they see you trying to be happy or trying to be nice, it's like, I think they like hate you for it. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously. And I've always felt this resistance from a lot of people where I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like, that person does not like me, and I can't understand what I did. Like, I always try my best to be kind and courteous and polite. Like, what did I do? And you know, that's another thing I've just come to realize is that, like, you can be a mean person, you can be a nice person. People are gonna find something wrong with you regardless if they want to, and that is their prerogative. Be my guest.
Don't protect your energy at all costs. You are awesome at reading people, because dealing with this is harder than anything else in the world, and you just figure people out a lot faster, and I think you have that as well.
Like, absolutely. Like, and it's weird. It's this thing that, like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'll meet somebody, and this is gonna sound really creepy, but like, I'll meet someone and I'll know so much about them and their life and like things that they've probably gone through, and I've probably only said 2 words to them. Like, and it's I feel creepy. I'm like, why do I know that you've probably gone through this and this in your life? But it's like, I think it's coming off their energy or something.
It is a superpower. That is a superpower, but you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your own energy, because people feel that like warmth. They feel that like openness from you. So they feel like, you know, it's not like they're dumping, but not everybody gives that out there, and that's what you give to the world, and that's why you can make a change, and you know, you have a platform to do so. That's why you've been given this.
Like, that's my purpose, that's my dream. And you know, ever since I was little, I always wondered, like, you know, I want to do something, I want to make the world a better place. What can I do? And it's like, even this morning, I'm thinking like, I need to go to, no, I'm just like, this is stupid, but I was thinking like, I wish I was in, you know, there's war happening right now in Gaza.
Yep.
But I was like, I wish I was there and I could just like protect kids. Like, can I just go there and can I just protect kids? Like, can I do something? Because it drives me nuts. And it's like, you know, I really feel like, yes, my life is technically my life, but I don't feel like my life needs to be for me. I feel like my life is meant to be for others. And, you know, that's why everything I do, even when I go out in the ring, like I had my match on Tuesday and it was like my second match back. What gets me amped up is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put on a show and I'm going to show people like what I can do, so they realize like if I can do it, they can do it. And then, you know, hopefully I can inspire people. Like, I don't feel self-motivated. I feel motivated by others is what I'm trying to say. And
which is interesting, because technically wrestling is such a selfish thing. Like, it's a selfish sport. Like, you know, you're one person for yourself. You're competing against others, both in the ring, backstage. You know, most people probably go into the ring because they want that dopamine hit. They want that external validation. But you've flipped it. You draw energy from people because you want to give it to them. So it's this really beautiful, like, cyclic thing. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, last week, I remember I was about to go out and I was like, oh, I'm a little nervous, but you know what? This isn't about me. I'm like, it's about the fans. It's about them. Someone went, no, this is about you. And I was like, no, it's not. It's not. Oh my God. Like, it's fun, yeah, obviously, like, to go out and entertain. But the goal at the end of the day is, like you said, like, develop a platform and inspire people to just be freaking nice. Do what makes you happy. Like, if you want to stay home and do a painting, like, do that.
Yeah,
do a painting.
Just do what makes you happy.
You know, you just reminded me of one of my like hacks when I find myself in like a negative mind space. That's my biggest hack is, hold on, is there a roof over my head? Yes. Do I have access to water? Yes. Am I hungry right now? No. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. Well, I feel like this was very motivational, but this was also probably equal parts depressing.
I know. It was really, but that's life. It's like there's stuff here, and it balances, and then that's where we find ourselves in reality.
It's so true. So like, let's switch gears and get real fluffy with it, and do my top 10 tailor-made questions.
Okay, fine.
And like get off mental health entirely.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, what's a beauty product you cannot live without?
Oh, my MAC under eye concealer. My grandpa, was. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm making it depressing again.
Nope, it's great. Love it.
But,
Straight back to it.
I know. Well, he was Pakistani, so I always get like these really dark like under eye circles.
Okay.
So I need my like MAC concealer, or like people will go, "Oh, you look really tired today." I'm not tired. These are my eyes. Like,
I'm Pakistani. Off.
Yeah,
it's my heritage.
Leave me alone. This is my skin. Like, oh my god.
Favorite clothing designer? Like, it doesn't have to be friggin' bougie. Just apparel designer.
Oh, goodness gracious. One of my favorite designers. I do love Betsy Johnson, but like,
good one.
Yeah, Betsy Johnson. Like, she doesn't make as many like gowns and dresses, and like she doesn't have as many like day-to-day clothing pieces as she used to. But like her bags, like her purses and her shoes, oh my gosh, like
it's so fun.
They're so fun, creative, bright. Like, oh, I love Betsy Johnson. Even when I go to the Dillard's, is that what it's called? Dillard's?
Yeah.
Like I still see her like stuff, but it's only like you said, the accessories, but. She's killing it. She's killing it with those accessories.
Good one. Okay, what was the biggest culture shock moving to the States from Toronto?
It seems like there's a lot of tensions in parts of the United States that like I've never even considered or thought of, because being from Toronto, it's so mixed, multicultural. Like, we're so lucky there. We have the best of every country's food, and I love food.
Yes.
But here, it's very, like, I know that America has some tough history. Yeah. And I feel like, unfortunately, in some parts, there's still, like, remnants of that tension.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And that's just...
Especially in the South.
Oh, yeah. And, like, that was weird to me. Like, I think I've experienced, like, some racism down here, which, like...
Like, you are no longer Dorothy in Kansas anymore. Like, you were legitimately in the Wild West.
Yeah. No, it was weird. I've definitely gotten looked at and like I've heard some things said to me that I'm like, no.
I'm so sorry.
Whatever.
I'm so sorry.
It's a them problem.
It's a them problem. Okay, so what do you miss most about Toronto?
The food. The food, big time. Well, I mean, my family. Sorry. Oopsie.
It's okay, Santino. Your daughter loves you.
I do lots. I just talked to him this morning, so.
Oh, so nice.
I would say there's a Korean food spot, Owl of Minerva, and they have this pork bone soup that I think about way too often. And like, I miss like good quality oxtail, like.
Okay.
Oxtail and shawarma. Oh my god, I miss shawarma so bad.
I do love a shawarma. The burps after the shawarma.
It's nice because it's like you get to eat it again.
So garlicky. It's so good.
Oh my god. But I think those are my top 3. Like,
I love it. Okay, are we pro Drake or?
I mean, he has a lot of songs that I like, and like I definitely grew up listening to him. For me, I really base my value a celebrity on like how they give back and if they give back. Sure. And kind of like what messages they like to portray. Yeah. I don't know if my values and his values are necessarily aligned.
Sure.
But I do like his music.
Okay, what's your dirty indulgence or your guilty indulgence, should I say, like reality show?
Forged in Fire.
Oh, yeah. For sure it is.
I love Forged in Fire.
It is a good
one. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just so cool. They make weapons and, like, slice things, and I love it so much.
That's definitely a reality show. 100% it's a reality show.
Okay, well then Forged in Fire. That's my show.
Love it. Okay, what's your least favorite move to take?
Ooh. Like, maybe Powerbomb.
Yeah.
anything from like just way too high up.
Sure. I'm with you.
But I'll do it.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. 'Cause
Whatever.
we all do. Yeah. Okay, favorite movie.
Ooh. To be honest, I really like 50 First Dates because I think it's so romantic. Like, he loves her so much that he'll spend every day trying to make her like fall in love with him and remember her. And it's like, that is the standard. That is the standard.
Agreed.
Like, that is love. It's
Yeah,
that movie just always makes me so emotional when she realizes like every time that, oh my God, I'm gonna forget this day tomorrow. Like, it's freaking horrible. But but yeah.
They make it work.
They did.
Favorite band or artist?
I do love Britney Spears. Like,
I don't know why you were going to say that. I felt that in every part of my body.
Really?
That you were going to say Britney Spears. That's really interesting. I don't know if it's just because she came out with her book the other day and we're all living for the Justin Timberlake drama.
but I saw some weird online stuff about the Justin Timberlake stuff, and I need to know now. I need to get this book.
Now that she's free and like the knife dancing and the like the messy makeup, I'm just like, okay, who hurt you, girl? Like, what is it?
Like, I loved her.
I did too. And I was always like Team Britney, not Team Christina. I love Christina, but I'm way more of a Britney girl. Like, I'm just a little bit more trash and I'm okay with that. And like, everyone needs to go out there and buy Britney's book and like help her because like how Justin Timberlake has thrived for 20 years without getting canceled. Like, and like, who knows? You don't know what you can believe anymore.
That's true.
But apparently she had his baby, like she got pregnant with his baby, and then their agents like encouraged them to not keep the baby, and they were going to get married, and then the same thing. Yeah, but there's like lots like career stuff.
God.
Yeah, everyone support Britney. Go buy her book, not because she needs the money, but she needs everyone to support her.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Damn. Poor girl. And it just like goes to what we were talking about, like the pressures and like you having a strong mental space and needing like support people to talk to. It's like, if you're freaking Britney Spears, like who can relate? Like,
exactly. But like everyone's going like Britney's falling apart, Britney's going crazy, but like read her book because there's reason. Like, people don't just wake up in the morning and they're like, you know what I want to do? Shave my head and then open up someone's car window with an umbrella for the paparazzi to take photos. Like, mental illness and mental breakdowns happen for a reason. Okay, where can our listeners find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, I am at Arianna Grace _WWE on Instagram. And then Twitter, I believe, is Arianna Grace WWE with no underscore. And I have a TikTok. I'm not a great TikToker, but I'm trying.
Perfect. Get on the TikToks. You got to get on the TikToks.
Yeah, like, my creativity is more like with cooking. But
Okay.
I'm not as much of like as a visual creator, but I'm trying.
Sure. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed
To know.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Damn, I love her. She's so sweet, huh?
Isn't she?
Yeah.
Like, all the things that we could have known in our 20s,
Yeah.
she has figured out. Boss bitch.
I know.
I hate that word. But like,
But she is a boss.
I feel like it's relevant. And I hope everyone in Wild On Land is loving the wild content we bring you every Wednesday with my girl, my co-host, Seleziya Sparx. If you like the content, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss all the Wild On content we bring you weekly on Wednesdays. And we love alliteration. Until next week, keep calm and wild on. Blessed be, bitch.